Good day, viewers. Welcome to another interesting episode of Let's Talk with Joke. I have a mentor, an entrepreneur, a great one at that. I'm going to leave him to do the introduction because this man here is loaded.
Thank you very much, Joke. My name is Ansem. Ansem Ozwe is my name. I work with Chogon Group. Chogon Group is a total and integrated property and facilities management company. We do real estate, we do facility management services, and then we do security services here in Nigeria with branches across Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that brief introduction. I was expecting you to keep, elaborating and all that, but it's okay. You don't want to blow your own whistle, so we'll leave it at that. So how long has Chogon Group been in existence?
Okay, as Chogon, we started operation 10 years ago. A couple of months back, we celebrated our 10 years anniversary in business. So we are well over 10 years in business across the sectors where we operate, both in the facilities management services, the security services, and then in the real estate and property development sector. Thank you.
What is the role of entrepreneurship in the economic growth?
The role of entrepreneurship in the economic growth cannot be overemphasized. The reason is the environment where we exist, especially in the third world countries. The role of an entrepreneur is it helps the government, all right? It's just like another government on its own to help create employment, create job, galvanize the economy, and then roll in revenues for the government. Okay, all the government needs to do is just to provide the enabling environment for that to thrive. For more, you see, when you talk about entrepreneurs, you're talking about the small, medium, and large-scale business enterprises that is not of government setting. Okay, and then we have the environment. The Nigerian sector, for instance, has a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurs to thrive. All that is required is for government to just tweak the enabling environment a little bit, and then that will thrive and the economy will be well and good.
Now we're talking about entrepreneurship, but you sound really grounded in it. And I want to ask you, if I'm looking out for a mentor in the role of being an entrepreneur or in the field of entrepreneurship, what are the attributes or qualities that I need to look out for in order to pick so person or someone as a mentor?
Okay, thank you very much. First, you need to understand who is a mentor, and then why do I need a mentor as a startup business person. First, a mentor is somebody who has been there, done that. Okay, you can describe someone as your mentor when you have a goal. For instance, you have a vision. So for you to be looking at a mentor or looking for a mentor, first, what it tells is that at that point you are looking at having a goal. You are looking at setting a goal for yourself, having a vision, what you want to become, who you want to be like in a number of time in different areas of life. For instance, in the business setting, if you want to look for a mentor, you want to get a mentor for yourself, you want to look at that personality who have gone through the road, who have embarked on that journey, and they have achieved a lot of success in that field of endeavor where you are venturing in. Okay, so for him to qualify to be your mentor, he is expected to have been a successful person in that particular field. And then you can tell that both his character, the business model, his personality, all right, meets your yearnings, and that's the kind of person you want to become. That's the kind of business you want to build, and all of that. That helps you to determine who becomes your mentor. Thank you.
Okay, based on your answer, I would like to find out, or I would like the audience to know how best to be a successful entrepreneur.
How to be a successful entrepreneur?
Yes.
First is to identify what needs. It's not just about being a successful entrepreneur that is important. The first thing is there are needs in the society. There are challenges in the society. There are problems in the society. What separates an entrepreneur, all right, with just the every other person is his ability to see the challenges and the needs in the society, venture into providing solutions for that need, okay? Once he's able to provide solutions for that yearnings and the need of the society, he has created a business, all right? Sometimes it comes as a passion and all of that, but of course, for you to now be business, there has to be the point when you need to transit from doing something you like, which is what you are passionate about, all right, and then converting it to become a business where your bills and other personal needs can be attended to.
We'll go on a commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Shortly before the break, our guest in the studio was telling us the attributes to a successful entrepreneur.
The attributes for you to be successful as an entrepreneur, there are certain attributes you are expected to have or possess, certain skills you are expected to possess. First, you have to be someone who is self-motivated. Okay, you have to have a reason to go out there and want to make a living. That's one. You have to be able to self-motivate yourself. Okay, there are a lot of things in the environment that are there to make sure that you are demotivated. But for you to be self-motivated, you need to. That's one major point. You have to be passionate about the goal and the need for you to have a good life. Okay, so perseverance is also number 3. You need to persevere. All right, you try it out. You have tried that and it's not working. You need to first pause and then ask yourself, why is it not working? What have I not done right? What am I supposed to do that I have not done? Okay, by the time you have asked yourself those questions, an answer will come up, of course, because once you are raising the questions, the antenna is up there, and then answers will start coming down to you. Okay, so I've talked about passionate, I've talked about passion, I've talked about perseverance. I've also talked about you being a self-motivated person. Okay, integrity is number 4. You need to you must have an integrity. In starting out in Chogon facilities those days, we started out with fumigation services, and we have situations where we have gone to do people's do fumigation, maybe treating of rat or bed bug, mosquitoes or roaches, okay? And then we've had situations where the client comes back and said, hey, I'm not satisfied with the services you rendered, okay? And then he has paid us, and then because we're a new business, we started out, our price and margin of profit was very little, okay? But we took the pain because we promised the client that whatsoever the issue is, if you're not satisfied with the job, let us know. So when they got back to us, we went back to make sure the job was done again, a return job at no cost to the client. That's actually a huge cost on us. But of course, even till today, we do that, okay? But of course, why am I saying that? That gives the credibility that every client, every business want to have, okay? Now, it gives them the confidence, and then they can come back and rely on you that once you have said this, that is what it is. So integrity is also a major key that you need to start up and win in the business world. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So what's the difference between achievement and success? Because most people or most entrepreneurs think, oh, I've achieved it, that means I'm successful at it. Does it mean the same thing? If you have achieved something, or you set out a goal that, okay, this is my goal for the next 3 months, and you're able to achieve it, does that mean you're really successful at what you're doing?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. From my personal opinion and from my personal point of view, I would define achievement is relative, and then success is relative as far as I'm concerned. If you have set up a goal and then you want to achieve this because you are expected to have them milestoned, okay? So if you have achieved a particular goal, that can be defined as a success at that point, okay? Because it's a going concern too, is not an open-ended stuff. So I expect entrepreneurs at every given time they have achieved a milestone to celebrate themselves, all right? You know, have a cup of water, have a cup of drink, and then get themselves gingered back to be able to launch back on the field and then get more winnings. So success is relative as far as I'm concerned, and then achievement is relative, dependent on where you are and then what milestone and target you have set for yourself. At every given time you achieve that, I expect, or it is expected, that you celebrate yourself and then pat yourself on the back and then continue the journey.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. You kept using the word relative, and this question came to my mind. What's the role of family in business?
The role of family in business.
Yes.
Family is there to give you the backup, the support. Okay, in the category where you have your destiny helpers. Okay, you have family as burden bearers. Okay, they are there to share burdens with you and then share the winnings with you. Okay, that is the role of a family. They are there to back you up, give you motivation. Of course, in Africa, because of the level of extended family and dependency in Africa, so family is also, and that's on the other side now, family is also one of the reasons why most of us actually go out there to do a lot of pushing, because you have families to take care of. You have your wife, your children, for those of us who are married and have kids, all right? You have family responsibilities, all right, from the home front, that also puts up as a challenge to you that you need to take care of. Okay, so there is need for you to also, so what is actually needed as an entrepreneur is to be able to balance family and business. Okay, because they all have vital role they play in our lives, especially those of us who are married. But even when you are not married, you still have your father and your mother, all right? Maybe you are working out from your home and all of that. So my advice would be to balance family and then balance the business to ensure each and every one of them gets the required attention. Thank you.
Okay, Sir, do you think that the government should invest more in the private sectors, or do you think that the private sector should do more by pushing themselves out in terms of economic growth?
Government is there to provide the infrastructure and setting out the rules and policies that governs every environment, business inclusive. And then, of course, an entrepreneur, you are part of the business environment. Government is expected to provide the enabling environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. For instance, when you look at power, when you look at tax, when you look at good road, just basically the infrastructure that is required to thrive in a business. For small and medium scale startup businesses, they need government backing to enable them survive. For instance, you have a vulcanizer, you have a small welding shop, and you don't have power supply. Okay, by the time you generate your own power to be able to do the welding work, it will cost you a lot more. Okay, but when it's coming from the main supply, which is power, our electricity provided by the government, okay, it comes a little cheaper. Okay, the attendant cost consequences when you are producing your own power with your generator is a lot more costing, and is a lot more it's not cost effective, it's expensive, and then it puts a lot of burden on the business startup, and those burden is what is expected that government should actually take off from the entrepreneur. So government is actually expected to do more. All right, why the entrepreneurs should actually know what is their role, and then let government know what is their role. Their role is just to make policies, provide the enabling environment, put infrastructure in place, and then entrepreneurs will thrive. Okay,
so as a startup business owner, as a business owner that's just about to start up, or as a new entrepreneur, considering the situation of the country, the crisis, and let's just say the things that the government are supposed to put in place are not in place for small business owners to grow, and then there are a lot of challenges and a lot of pushback, a lot of no's and rejection from those in power or those in a position to help you. What advice would you give to those younger ones that are trying to survive, that striving to survive in the economy? Because even as we speak now, the price of fuel is something else. Even the common take-home, the take-home salary for most people can't even take them home. It can't even survive. A family of two can barely have 3 square meals. And then as a business owner, all the policies and everything seems not to be, aligned with what you projected when you want to start your business. What would you advise that person to do? Would you advise the person to switch into another different line of business, or what exactly would it tell the person to do?
Okay, thank you very much. It's a challenging situation after all, but the point remains that it's either you win or you lose. So, and I'm of the opinion that I want to win. In this environment, in the Nigerian setting, for instance, it's either you are working for yourself, or you are working for the government, or you are working for another enterprise. Okay, these three options, one, you must get yourself involved in. Either you are self-employed or you are employed, whether gainfully or underemployed. The Nigerian setting has posed a challenge to every one of us, especially the young ones. And I'm going to be talking to our Nigerian youths. What is required of you is to be more creative. The Nigerian environment is not getting any better. All right. So all we need to do is to get tough. All right, and it's only the tough men that will win in this environment. If the environment is sieving out the weaklings, okay, so we need to just be more creative. For every challenge brings up the new ways of doing things, the new ways you can do business and survive. There are a lot of creativities that is required right now. Giving up is not an option. You can't give up. If you give up, you lose, because government does not know that you have given up. Okay, we are in a situation and an environment where we provide our power, provide our water, provide our road, provide our housing, provide our feeding, provide everything. Okay, I was telling someone sometime that is in this part of the world where people have to make feeding prayer point, housing prayer point, clothing prayer point. In other climes, once you're a citizen of that environment, all of these basic amenities are provided, which is your shelter, your clothing, and your feeding, at least at the basic level. But here in our own side, we have to take care of all of that, which is expected to have been done by government. So the advice that I will be offering to Nigerian youth is be creative, be resilient. The Nigerian environment is still very fertile. If it is not fertile, I will ask you, why is Chinese guys all trooping into Nigeria? Yeah. Go to the international airport and see the number of Indians trooping into Nigeria all the time, the Caucasians and all of that. What are they all rushing into the country to do? Nigeria is still a very fertile ground, irrespective of the challenges we face. It's tougher at the bottom, all right? It's always tough at the beginning. But then if you know where you are headed, like in the Bible, it's stated clearly that Jesus Christ, knowing the glory ahead, he endured the cross. What that tells us is, if you have a vision, you know where you are headed to, you guard up yourself and then guide your loins and then persevere for some time, and then before you know it, you are winning. And then once you win, you are happy. And then once you are happy, everybody becomes your friend. You must win. That's the only option we have. Thank you.
Okay, so one more question, sir, before we call it a wrap. Aside basic education, would you advise every Nigerian youth to acquire a skill? Aside going to school and then getting the certificates, would you also advise that, the way things are turning out now, it looks like it is what you can do with your hands. But basically, it's not what you have up there anymore that seems to be working. I know someone that studied computer science in school and is a driver now. Some people will go study some funny courses and then they come out of school, they can't get that job in which they went to school to study. So would you advise that, since the situation of the country is not favoring most people now, is it better that we should just look for one skills acquisition school somewhere and acquire some skills that would help you put food on your table pending the time you're able to make use of your certificates?
Okay, thank you very much. If I must say this, I want to sincerely say that I think we have missed it at some point. Going for university education is not all that is required to be successful in life. Okay, so whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are going to be working for an enterprise, or you are going to be working for government, what is required is a skill. What is required is a talent. Okay, all of that is in the marketplace. There are basic education that is required for everybody to have. Okay, first is your self-education. Who are you? What are you cut out for? You need to know who you are, the talents and skills you possess, all right? The ones you need to sharpen. That's number one education every one of us is expected to have. It's called self-education, all right? Then we have academic education, which is basic, all right? Because you need to understand arithmetic, you need to understand calculation, you need to understand business proposals, you need to understand, read and interpret business proposals and business engagement. That is for communication, all right? Then you need to understand, you need to be street intelligent, okay? You need to have street education, what is happening in the market, okay? In that field of endeavor where you are, or whether you are employed, if you are working, that environment where you are working, if you don't understand that environment, you will not be able to do well. Number one psychology of excellence performance is you must know your environment. That's key, all right? That's number one. Psychology of excellence performance. For you to thrive in any environment, you must first of all know your environment. So environmental education, being aware of where you are. What if you are employed in a company, what does that company need at that particular time? What they needed 5 years ago might not be their goal in this 2024. Yeah. All right. And then, so as the organizational goal changes, national goal changes, environmental goal changes. So you must be able to be adaptable to the new goal, to the new environment, find out what the environment needed at that point in time, get it done, and then you'll be celebrated. The same way as needs of the society. Some time ago, it was telecommunication. Invention of telecommunication was the in thing, and then it happened, and everybody celebrated. Today is something else. Very soon, AI is also almost taking up the entire environment. So, being adaptable, and then being adaptable, and you can only be adaptable if you know, if you have that awareness, if you have that knowledge that the environment is changing, the marketplace is changing, you change and then be adaptable. Thank you.
Okay, so we should always flow with the wind. And it's a wrap on today's episode of Let's Talk with Joke. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Do tell a friend to tell a friend. Till I come your way next time, take care of yourselves and take care of others. It's bye for now.